After a historic 70-year reign, the second longest of any monarch in history, Queen Elizabeth II has died. Hello and welcome. You're watching a Temple Update special report on TUTV. I'm Chris Berger. The Queen of England passed away yesterday at 96 years old, surrounded by family and loved ones at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. The family rushed to be by her side in her final moments. Prince Harry even cancelled an appearance in London with his wife to see his grandmother. It is now the next day, and the military in London shot off 96 shots, honoring every year of Her Majesty's life. These shots went off every 16 minutes straight. Temple Update's Chris Berger is live in London, where people from around the world are mourning the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Chris?
That's right, Haya. It's been a day of change here in London after the death of the longest reigning monarch in British history. People have been gathering outside of Buckingham Palace since last night, paying their respects and awaiting updates from the Crown. Flags are flying at half-staff, and throughout the day, people can be heard singing both God Save the Queen and God Save the King. At noon, bells rang out at abbeys and chapels throughout the country. Flowers and wreaths lined streets honoring the Queen and her legacy of her 70-year reign. Around the airport, at bus stations, and throughout the city, portraits of the Queen are hung in tribute. I spoke with some people around the city, and they've said that they feel a symbol of stability has gone. This is a big moment in British history because most people do not expect to see another matriarch in their lifetimes, as the next 3 people in line for the throne are all men. The Queen's funeral is still over a week away, but the UK government has a detailed plan of events leading up to that state funeral. After a ceremonial procession through London, the Queen will lie in state at Westminster Hall for 4 days, where the public can pay their respects. She will then be laid to rest at St. George's Chapel in Westminster, alongside her mother, father, sister, and husband, Prince Philip. King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla arrived back in London this morning after spending the night in Scotland. When they arrived, the couple got out of their car, taking time to shake hands and meeting people standing outside the palace. The new king held a private audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss this afternoon, and Parliament gathered to pay their respects to the Queen. King Charles just made his first televised address to the nation as head of state this evening. And at a service of remembrance for Queen Elizabeth, the national anthem officially changed from God Save the Queen, to God Save the King. Tomorrow is a ceremony to formally proclaim Charles the King of Britain. I'll have more updates for the next couple of days on @TempleUpdate on social media. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for continued coverage from London. Live in London for Temple Update, I'm Chris Berger. Haya, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Queen Elizabeth's eldest son, King Charles III, is now king, making him the oldest person to ascend to the throne in British history. King Charles III made a statement immediately following the death of his mother from Buckingham Palace, expressing the family's great sadness. The king also emphasized the sorrow felt around the world in the wake of her passing. The Queen's legacy stretches across the globe, including in our city of brotherly love. On July 6, 1976, the Queen and her husband Prince Philip celebrated the bicentennial of the United States by gifting Philadelphia with the bicentennial bell. This bell hung in the clock tower of the Philadelphia Visitor Center for nearly 40 years before it was moved into storage in 2013. The Independence Historical Trust is working to open the Bicentennial Bell Garden in the spring of 2024, which will display the bell permanently. That's all for this Temple Update special report. Thank you for tuning in, and for continued coverage, make sure to follow us on all our social media @Temple Update. I'm Chris Berger, and now back to your regular programming on TUTV.